Right, today I'm flying with Alec. Last time you saw him, we were flying relief supplies out to Tennessee for the hurricane, and he was the one that came up with the brilliant idea of tossing the stuff out of the plane so we didn't have to stop. We didn't do that plan.
Yep, and that was actually the last time I flew.
Yeah, that's
2.5 months ago.
It's not good for a pilot, especially a potential Navy pilot. Alec is, turn this off for a second. Alec's in the process of joining the Navy. He's going to fly for the Navy. Hopefully, and take me up in a F-22 or 35 or something. Today we're flying to Jacksonville, Florida from Concord. Going to visit family for a couple days. It's the Saturday before Christmas, so we're really only going down there for 2 nights. And that kind of trip only makes sense if you're flying. It's about a 2.5 hour to 3 hour flight, depending on what the winds do. It's about a 6 hour drive normally, but the Saturday before Christmas on I-95,
12 hour.
yeah, I-95 is not going to be pleasant. So I suspect you're probably more a 7 or 8 hour drive. We don't really have any specific subject to cover today on our flight. However, I've had several people write some comments, so I thought I'd just answer some questions, just some general stuff. See if we can cobble together a little bit of information to occupy us while we're on our flight. This plane, sometimes if you're in proximity to one of the big metal hangars or certain areas on the airfield, the heading indicator
autopilot.
Heading indicator will go out. It won't work properly till you move around. That's what happened to us earlier. So once we moved down here, it came back on. So now we can finish our checklist.
Traffic, 11 o'clock.
It's pretty good. Got a little squirrely there, but you straightened her out. Not too rusty on that. And she's climbing today, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She likes this cold weather with a headwind. You should pull flaps up before you prop back. You don't have to, but
yeah, just
you don't
in
get
case.
as much. You don't get as much sink if you keep the prop up.
Well, that's what happens when you don't fly for 2.5 months. You forget certain things.
Well, that's why it's so helpful to have a father who's a CFI.
Oh, is that right?
Who can guide you through the AVIATES headwinds.
Oh, yeah.
Our crew check 145.
Oh, yeah. All right. You're going to bump me all the way to Florida?
Downwind for runway 2.
What does that say, mister?
There's a tailwind.
Tailwind. 21 knot tailwind.
We're going to climb up to our cruising altitude and it's going to switch around.
If it does, we're
coming back
down. That's exactly right. Tailwind. I think this is maybe the 4th time in the 10 years I've been flying that I actually have a tailwind on a trip. In the last video, if you happen to see that, I'll put a link in the description below. Towards the end of the flight, we developed a weird whistling sound. It happened 3 or 4 times. Still have not been able to figure out where it came from. Went over the whole engine, ruled out anything mechanical. There are no gyros in this panel anymore. It's all solid state electronics. So air leak seems to be the popular theory. We checked all the canopy seals, didn't find anything. So either something was stuck in the canopy seal, we didn't catch it, or it was coming through some other area, but we have not been able to get it to repeat, which is fine. It went away. So we took care of that, or it's gone. We didn't take care of it. It just came out of its 100 hour. This plane is for hire, so it has to have a 100-hour inspection. For those of you who are newer pilots, you have to know for your written test or your oral, the inspections you have to have, which uses the acronym of
tomato flames. No, that's not it. It's the
required equipment.
Yeah, it's been a while since I brushed up on that.
How about AVIATES?
Yeah, that sounds right.
AVIATES. So we have annual. Happens
VOR.
Happens once a year. VOR every 30 days. What's next there? I is actually one. That's 100 hour for planes that are used for hire.
Altimeter.
Altimeter is pedostatic system. That's every 2 years.
Transponder.
Transponder is every
year, 12 months?
2 years.
2 years. months.
And ELT, which is every
year or half its useful battery life.
Right. And actually the S, if you use the S, that is static. We clump them all in. Static, but yeah. So those are the inspections that the planes have to have. That acronym makes it easy to remember it all.
You just got to remember what acronym it is.
So you do have to use the correct acronym. That is true. Yeah. Did get somebody got a clarification from, I guess, the Charlotte FSDO, Flight Services District Office. I was under the impression initially that if we came up to our 100-hour inspection and I couldn't get it in time, that meant we could not use the plane for hire for flight instruction or rentals, but me as the owner could personally fly it until we got 100 hours because it's not required for that. The clarification we've gotten though is that no one can fly it, not even me, because you can't kind of flip-flop back and forth between for hire, not for hire at will. So when it hits 100 hours, if we don't get it, I can't even fly it until we get the 100 hour. So being the owner of the plane doesn't get you any more privileges to be able to fly somewhere. You know, of course there are exceptions if you have to fly it to another field to get the action, things like that. But as a general rule, I have to adhere to the same rules as everyone else.
You're not special.
I know. What's up with that?
But don't they know who you are?
That's exactly right. That's what I was thinking. Oh, what'd you do to my tailwind? You jinxed my tailwind. That's a 5-knot headwind.
What'd I tell you? What did I tell you?
That was nice while it lasted. I don't want to go back down though. It's much smoother up here than it was.
Too good to be
It
true.
was a little bumpy down there.
Oh.
Oh, that was a mistake. Got lucky. When you have a soda at altitude, you need to open it slowly because the difference in pressure, sometimes they spew all over because there's more pressure inside the bottle. Alright, so this area here is a what?
A MOA.
A MOA. And do we have to do anything special to fly through there?
You just gotta make sure it's not active and they're not using it to, shoot things. I mean, you don't even have to do that. You could just fly through it, but you need to be smart. And if it's active, you probably don't want to be messing around with it.
That is also true. Legally, you can fly through it whenever you want. No clearance required. Unlike a warning area or a restricted area. Yeah, if those are hot, you cannot go through them. But you're also correct. Probably wise to go around. If they're doing something in there, why get in the middle of it? VOR check. Must be done every 30 days. Let's do one right now. In the air.
I'm climbing right now.
It's fine. I'll program it in. Don't you worry. Look professional. 114.55. It's the Chesterfield VOR. It sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Okay, there it is. So what we're going to do, I have two nav radios. We're going to tune them both into the same VOR. We're going to wait for them to identify. In this plane, you don't have to listen to the Morse code. The G1000 will ID it for you, and there you can see both CTF. You're hand flying now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So to check this, we're going to go to both of our nav radios, and as long as they read within 6 degrees of each other, then everything is cool. So we're going to take our CDI over to nav 1, which is VOR 1. Then I'm going to take the course button and turn it until I get, and I don't really care if I'm, all right, there we go. That's a from 288. We'll go over here, and we'll turn it this way. And that's a from 286. So there we go, 2 degrees difference. So VOR check is passed. In the front of our little logbook that we use to record the times, I'll go through when we land and put the date. I believe it's my pilot's name and where you checked it. On the ground, if you were to do something like that, they have to be within 4 degrees of each other. But we are 2 degrees off, so we're good in the air, on the ground, wherever you want to be. I did get a comment on a video from a Microsoft Flight Simulator gamer. And I've told Alec this is something interesting. I've gotten a number of comments that say Microsoft Flight Simulator gamers who are not pilots actually watch aviation channels like mine to basically learn how to fly a plane in the game, which is kind of cool. which makes sense because where else do you learn to fly the plane in the game, right? It's pretty real. But the one thing, the standard DA40 that comes with both 2020 and 24 is a DA40 NG, which stands for Next Generation, which is a diesel-powered airplane. This is avgas, and it has a FADEC system. That's another acronym of the Full Access Digital Engine Control, I believe. So where the question came up with, he said, in my game, I only have one knob down here, and you have three. What's going on with that? So the difference is we have mixture, we have RPM prop control, mixture, RPM prop control, and manifold pressure. In the NG, there's only one knob, and a computer takes care of all three of these in the right combination that it's programmed to do and does it for you. So it does make life a little easier there. The only downside is there have been several new instances where that computer has decided to take a little break in flight, and they've had to do emergency landings in these planes, because if that goes, I think there's two of them, but if both of them go, you're putting her down, because you can't go backwards and manually control it.
I haven't heard anyone on guard the whole day.
Oh, not even a meow.
This is 1215, right?
Yeah. It's like every flight you get one meow.
So maybe you should do it.
I'm not clear what the purpose is or where it originated.
Just to make sure the frequency works.
So what he's talking about is whenever we fly on a cross-country flight, even if it's IFR, we'll monitor the guard channel, which is 121.5, which is the emergency channel. And the reason for that is if we were to start to blunder into somebody's airspace accidentally and we're not talking to them, you can broadcast on that and say, hey, what are you doing? But whenever we're on there, at least once during a trip, you hear somebody go meow on the guard channel. And I don't know why, and everybody I've asked has not been able to tell me why they do that or where it started. So if you have some clue as to what's going on there, put a comment below. I'd like to know. But that is handy. There was one trip in Florida where we were flying, and there was a guy coming perilously close to going into a hot restricted area. We can't go. And ATC was on guard just screaming at him. And he obviously wasn't listening. And I can't remember if he actually ended up in the restricted area or not. It pays to listen. I don't want any excuses about I haven't flown in 2 months.
It's a pretty big excuse, dude.
I don't want to hear it.
That's a pretty big excuse.
It's just that, an excuse. Oh, on a nice greaser touchdown.
Cecil Tower, Diamond 526 Delta Sierra is 10 miles northwest with information Echo inbound landing.
Diamond 526 Delta Sierra, C stern left down, runway 36 left, report midfield.
Report midfield, left
Leaving
downwind,
altitude.
36 left.
Alright, we got 3 white, 1 red. Where's that? Oh, that might not be a Pappy.
Yeah, it might just be the lights.
I see him all the way down there. A little power.
Crew check 326, runway 36 right, clip of the option.
There's the option, 36 right, crew check 326.
Nose to the right. Just keep riding her, keep riding her. Nose to the right. Get ballooned her, let her come down. Power, 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 power. Okay.
Dropped it.
Got the flaps. Hey, you ballooned her a little bit because you were riding her so long, you just let her get up. You just needed a little hit of power there to soften that touchdown, but it wasn't terrible. I thought your speed was good, but you were having to ride her quite a long ways, which usually means going too fast, but I thought you were okay.
Well, I think I did my typical flare a little too high shenanigans, and then, you know, yeah, riding it down and then end up dropping it, because I think it would have been fine if I flared a little lower, because then it would have been smoother. But you kept saying nose to the right. It felt like I had to keep going left.
That's
like
why I kept
my
saying,
nose was swinging.
But you see, when we touched down, you had no side load. You did keep letting that nose get just a little bit left.
I have no idea what the signals mean.
Just keep going straight at him. There he was telling you turn left, straight at him. That wingtip, that's good. Just keep come until he crosses his arms.
I got that one.
There you go.